How to install Oxygen OS 10 based on Android 10 from the OnePlus 7 Pro on your Xiaomi Poco F1. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to get notified of new videos. Hey peeps, what's up? Manji here, back with another video, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can install Oxygen OS 10 based on Android 10 from the OnePlus 7 Pro on your Xiaomi Poco F1. As you can see, I do have the Xiaomi Poco F1 running MIUI 11 Global Stable version 11.0.5.0 based on Android 9.0 Pie. What are the prerequisites for this video? The prerequisites for this video are you need to have an unlocked bootloader and you need to have twerp recovery installed. I have separate videos for both of those, which are linked in the description of the video. Next thing, make sure your battery is charged at least 50 to 60%. Do not do this process if your battery is at 20 or 30%. Also, make sure you have taken a backup of all your pictures, videos, and anything important which you have on your device, because if you run into any boot loops or any encryption issues, you will have to do a format data from twerp recovery, in which case you're going to lose all your pictures, videos, and anything important which you have on your device. Another prerequisite and something which is very important is that your device needs to be decrypted or not encrypted. How do you find that out? Well, you can go into settings and then you click on search settings, and here you type in encryption. As soon as you type EN, you will see we get an option called encryption and credentials. Click on that, and as you can see, in my case, encrypt phone says phone not encrypted. This means my phone is decrypted. This is a very important requirement to install Oxygen OS 10 based on Android 10 from the OnePlus 7 Pro on your Poco F1. In case your device is encrypted, you will have to decrypt it. How do you do that? Well, you boot into twerp recovery, then you flash disable force encryption, followed by Magisk, boot back into twerp recovery, and then you do a format data. I can do a video on it if you want me to, and if there are enough requests and there is enough interest in how to decrypt your Poco F1. Next thing, we will go back into settings, and then you need to go into password and security and remove your fingerprint, face unlock, and any pin or password which you have set. Once that is done, we will go back, and then you will go into Me account and remove your Me account. Once that is done, go back, go into accounts and sync, and remove your Google account as well. Once we have removed all the accounts and security measures, you need to reboot your device once. Why are we removing all the accounts and security measures? We're doing this because we are switching ROMs, and if you don't do this, when you set up Oxygen OS 10 or boot into Oxygen OS 10 for the first time, you will have to enter your Google account, and then because you do not have Me account on Oxygen OS, there might be issues and you might get locked out of your own device. So it is my personal recommendation to you that you remove all the accounts and security measures. What are the files which we need? All the files which we need are linked in the description of the video, and these are all the files which you need. You need the vendor file, the system file, the firmware, the kernel, disable force encryption, and Magisk. Do note, this build of Oxygen OS 10 for the Poco F1 is by Amog, and all credits to him and thanks to him for his awesome work on the Poco F1. The official instructions do not mention flashing disable force encryption, but I always flash it just to be safe. Do note that the kernel here is pre-rooted and it should come with Magisk installed. In case it doesn't come with Magisk installed, then all you need to do is flash the Magisk zip after booting into Oxygen OS 10 once. Next thing we need to do is we'll boot into twerp recovery. For that, the first thing you need to do is turn off your device, and once you've turned your device off, you need to press and hold volume up and power button at the same time till you see the twerp recovery boot logo. Once we are into twerp recovery, first thing we'll do is we'll go into wipe, advanced wipe, and select Dalvik cache system and data, and then swipe to wipe. Once that is done, we will click on the home button, go into install, and now you need to navigate to the folder where you've downloaded all the files which are linked in the description of the video. In case you downloaded the files on your phone directly, they will be in the download folder. In my case, I transferred them manually, so they are in the root directory. The first file which we need to select is the firmware zip file, so we will select the file, click on add more zips. The next file which you need to select is the vendor zip file. So we will select the vendor file, add more zips. Then the next file which we need to select is the system. So select the system zip file, add more zips. The next file which we need to select is the kernel zip file. So we will select the kernel zip file and then click on add more zips. The last file which we need to select is the disable force encryption zip file. And at this point, you should have 5 files to flash, as you can see on the top. 5 of maximum 10. Once you've made sure that all the 5 files are selected, all you need to do is swipe to confirm flash. Once all the files have installed successfully, make sure you scroll up and see that you haven't gotten any errors. In my case, there are no errors and all the files have installed successfully. Next thing you need to do is boot into system, because we have flashed all the files which we need to flash to install Oxygen OS 10 based on Android 10 from the OnePlus 7 Pro on the Poco F1. However, in case you run into any boot loops or anything like that, you will have to boot back into twerp recovery by pressing and holding volume up and power button at the same time till you see the twerp recovery boot logo. Once you're back in twerp, you'll go into wipe, format data, type in yes, and then click on the check mark button on the bottom right of the keyboard. Do note, formatting data will result in wiping out of all your pictures, videos, and anything important which you have on your device, so make sure you have a backup of all those things. For now, we're going to skip that step and select reboot and then select system. And there it is, we have the Oxygen OS boot animation on the Poco F1, which means our device is booting into Oxygen OS 10 based on Android 10. In case you run into a situation wherein the device takes around 10 minutes to boot and you're still stuck at the boot animation, in that case, you can try doing a force reboot. So while you're still at the boot animation, just press and hold the power button till the device reboots, and then you can wait for another few minutes to see if that fixes the boot loop issue or not. If that doesn't fix the boot loop issue, then the final thing or the final resolution is to boot into twerp recovery and do a format data. Alright peeps, we've been at the boot animation for around 8 to 9 minutes, and now we're going to try a force reboot. So just press and hold the power button till the device reboots, and then we can wait and hope that it boots the next time around. So there it is, you can see that the first reboot just happened, and now we should get back the Oxygen OS boot animation, and we're going to wait for another 8 or 9 minutes for the device to boot into Oxygen OS 10. And bam, there it is. We have booted into Oxygen OS 10 without having to do a format data, and we are on the setup screen. Let me skip the setup real quick. An important thing to note is that face unlock is a bug, so do not try to set it up during the initial setup. Just click on skip. You can of course set up the fingerprint if you want to. I'll just skip it. And you can also choose between navigation gestures or whether you want the old school gestures. I'll just use the old school. Click on start. Setup is complete, and then you need to click on allow. We can now go into settings and then about phone, and bam, there it is. Oxygen OS 10 based on Android 10 from the OnePlus 7 Pro by Amog, working like a boss on the Poco F1. Do note, in this build you do not have to install activity launcher and click on those 4 activities. Data should be working out of the box. And another good news is that you do have the volume panel on the correct side, so that has also been fixed. I do see that Magisk is not installed. However, the kernel I think is pre-rooted, so all you would need to do is either try installing Magisk Manager or just flash Magisk from twerp recovery. Both should get you root in case you want to, and you also need not install a file manager to go into system prevap and then install GMS core. That issue has also been fixed. So there it is peeps, that is how you install Oxygen OS 10 based on Android 10 from the OnePlus 7 Pro on your Poco F1. And that will do it for this video. I hope my video helped you. Likes, shares and subscribes are appreciated. Feedback and comment more than welcome. See you when I see you.